Good afternoon, everyone. This is Joe Henches with Beyond the Chart, and this is the stock trade ideas for Sunday, May 25th, 2014. So this is for the week of, actually it's going to start on Tuesday this week, the 27th. So we're going to start off and review 3 trade ideas that we exited last week, and then we're going to talk about 2 that we're still in. And then we're going to talk about 4 new trade ideas for the coming week. Okay, so we're going to start off with Trip, and then 3D Systems, and then C-Trip. Or make sure I've got that right. Yeah, C-Trip. Yes, I do. All right. First one was Tripadvisors. We went, I think this was on the 14th. We were looking, we bought puts, thought we were going to head down, got this close below the 10, breaking this 2-day low in here. It then started to reverse. I was a little cautious because of the cross of the moving averages in here. So as soon as I saw that we were getting a close above a prior day high, I had posted that we were going to exit the position, so we did. And I chose not to go long because I was a little frustrated with liquidity on Trip, actually on the options. And I don't think I'm going to be continuing trading this stock. It's got decent volatility and everything, but it's really frustrating when you're trying to get in and out of options and they have spreads of $50 to $60. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. And it's like, as long as the market makers want to do that, and we just go somewhere else. So that's going to be it on Trip. Let's see. The next one is 3D Systems. 3D Systems, again, we got in here with puts on the 15th. And I think right as we were breaking the low, the 2-day low in here. And then again, I was very cautious and I got a new buy signal to the upside here. And the 10 was starting to break above the 21 in here. So I exited the puts, and literally at the same exact time, I then bought calls. And so we literally flipped right out of the put position into the calls, and it turned out, you know, fabulous, because the next day we got a big move. So, and we came up here and trying to remember, I think I sold part of them. I did. I had hit my initial target somewhere down in here and took half the profits. And then when it got up here and it continued to push to the high side, I had seen several things, 3 things, a confluence of 3 things that said, okay, a declining 55, resistance that was coming in from this point right in here, so resistance. And then there was one, oh, my Keltner channels, okay, these fine dotted lines that you see down in here. So the fact that it was getting above the Keltner channel and approaching up into this area, say, okay, it's time to go ahead and grab the rest of the profit. Now, sure, we may get a little bit more, and yeah, I could have got more, but you can always get more, okay? So it turned out to be a great trade, and it recovered anything we had lost on the puts and made a really nice profit over and above the loss that we had incurred. So that was nice. Okay, so the next one is C-Trip, is the other one we got out of. And we had gotten in this one right around 50 back here on the 12th, and it hit initial target up in here, took half the profits on this day, and then it continued to push. I was really going to ride this stock, and who knows how it turns out. But when I started seeing that it was approaching these previous highs in here, and that it got this doji in a very tiny range, I started to get concerned that we were at the end of this move and maybe we were going to get a decent little pullback. Well, so we got a little bit of a washout here on Friday, but this is actually looking a little bit like a hanging man to me. And I say that it's similar to this one right here. And actually, I think I've even seen this, and I'm pretty sure it was on this stock. Yeah, right here. See right here, another hanging man. And it happened 1, 2, 3, 4 days, 3 to 4 days before this thing started turning south and dramatically went south. And, you know, back here, when you had it, okay, where was it? Maybe I didn't blow it. There we go. Because it looked too tiny until I blew it up. Back in here, it turned south the very next day and started to roll on down. So we'll see. We'll see what happens this week with C-Trip, but that's my caution on C-Trip. So we exited out of the calls. I have no position at this point, so we're just going to watch this and see if it turns around. Okay, now silver Wheaton we're in still. We've been in it for a while. It is going our direction, but this sure is taking its time. And part of the reason why is when I look at the average true range, it is 0.46. So 46 cents a day is the average true range over the last 10 days. That is not a whole lot of movement, and it's because this stock is down here in the 20s. But it hasn't hit my target yet, haven't been stopped out, so I'm sticking with it. And I'm hoping it's going to hit my target. And if it does, my target's down in here, that's going to break this trend line. And it may have, I'm thinking it may break. So that's why I'm impatiently waiting for that to happen. All right, and the other one is Valero Energy. We have also been in since back here on the 9th of May. And it is slowly working its way to the downside. And there's been several days where it whips up intraday. And if you think you're going to get stopped there, and then it just reverses right on back down. It did the same thing on Friday to a certain degree. And so this is still trending. It hasn't hit my initial target yet. And depending on what it does, I'm a little concerned that this is starting to flatten out in here. We're not getting a substantial break, but we're right at this trend line. So my expectation is if this breaks this trend line, that I'm going to get this break down to here. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. So I really, right now, my initial plan is to exit half the position when it hits the target, but depending on how it does it, I may exit the entire position when it hits the initial target. Usually my initial target is not where I think the entire move may go or the entire trade may go. It's just, it's a point where it's a decent move. I'm trying to grab some profit, trying to lock in, trying to make sure that the trade becomes profitable. Okay, those are the 3 we exited and the 2 we currently have. And now for the new trade ideas, we're going to take a look at Gamestop. Gamestop has, we've got this 21 breaking below the 55. We've got the 10 down below it. We have this snapback rally in here. The 55 is below the 233. So we've got a lot of negative alignment. So from a longer term perspective, the 55 is below the 233, negative. Now intermediate, the 21 is broken below the 55. And we've got the short-term negative. So I think this is a snapback, and I'm looking to buy puts on Tuesday morning, or on Tuesday sometime, depending on how the setup goes. So, and again, the details for all of these are going to be on the Trade Ideas webpage. And to get access to that, password protected, just simply subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. You'll also be able to download the 5 Essentials PDF. As a bonus to you, and continue to follow Beyond the Charts. You'll get email updates and other things, so that'd be great. And the next one we're going to look at is Las Vegas Sands. Las Vegas Sands, similar type thing. I am looking for this to continue to break down, and so I am looking to try to buy puts on Tuesday if it hits my initial target for entry. Again, I want it to show us that it wants to go south before I enter. So I don't just say, oh, I think it's going south, and I buy right at the open or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't think it's a buy at this close price. I've got another specific entry price that I use to enter the puts. So that's my play on this. It just looks like it's topping out. It's had a big 5-wave move up, and this big move here. And I think it hasn't nearly corrected enough. And so I am looking for it to continue down, and everything's negatively aligned to a certain degree. Now the 55 is still above the 233, but it looks like we're trying to roll over. So I'm trying to stay with at least the intermediate and short-term trend at the moment. So that's the plan on Las Vegas Sands. And then another casino, actually all 3 of the casinos that I follow closely. Win, I don't follow closely. Periodically I do, but they all looked a little bit negative. This is more negative, okay? So strong downtrend. But see these snapbacks? We've had 1, 2, 3, and now 4. So I'm a little cautious that this is the 4th one, but I'm still going to play this to the downside. Because that is the trend, and that's the way the trend is currently lined up. And this thing is trading down below the 233-day moving average. It bounced off of it, came down below it, closed back above it, rallied a little bit. Now it's trading down below it in this downtrending channel. So we'll see if we continue to get another thrust down to the downside. Okay, and last but not least is Solarcity. Again, Solarcity is a similar type thing. I mean, we've got all this negative alignment with the moving averages. We've got this pullback above the 10. I'm looking to go short if we again hit the number that I'm looking for, the right pricing on this thing to enter, and then see if we can't play this to the downside. When I look at this, I mean, you still got this point in here that you could get a nice little trend line break, and if this rolls over like in here, you could get a cup and handle type thing that will then cause this kind of move down. That's what will happen if this thing starts to roll over at this point. That's going to be the kind of the little nice little cup and handle to the downside type move. So that's what I'm playing on Solarcity. We'll see if that plays out or not. And that's it for today. So those are 4 new trade ideas. 2 we talked about that we're currently in. 3 we exited last week. This has been Joe for Beyond the Chart. Have a great Monday, a great Memorial Day tomorrow. And if you're not in the United States, have a great Monday also. And we'll talk to you again Tuesday night. Share the post, share the video, share the email. And have a great beginning of the week. Talk to you soon. Thanks for stopping by.